The wedding procast is 2 years old on Sunday. Hey guys, welcome back to the Wedding Procast UK podcast. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe and that notification bell so you don't miss our next upload. Let's dive into today's show. Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. I am so excited to have you here today and a little bit nervous, actually. Today is our second birthday episode. So the podcast is 2 years old on Sunday. We started this back in 2020. We have 102 episodes now, and I am super excited for what is to come in the future. If you are interested in guesting on the podcast, if you've got a topic that you'd like to cover, or if you know somebody who I should interview, then I will leave a form in the description below and in the show notes so that you can apply or suggest somebody to come on the show. I love having interviews. It is one of the things that I have definitely enjoyed the most about the last 2 years, getting to speak to not only people in the industry, but to business experts and people from around the world. So I'm super excited for the next 2 years, maybe, and see what is coming down the line. So today I thought I would share something with you a little bit different, which is why I am probably a little bit nervous. I am going to share with you 10 facts about me. So I don't talk a lot about myself on the podcast because this is about the wedding industry and about growing and streamlining your business. But I thought I will use this episode to give you a little bit of information about who I am and what I'm all about. So I have 10 facts about me to share. One of those facts is sitting right here next to me in the studio today. She is my cat Twinkle. She often appears actually in my videos, but she is one of 2 cats that I have, and I am a big animal lover. I absolutely love cats, love big cats, and I just love all animals. In fact, I often say to people I love animals more than I love people, which is true depending on the people and the situation. But yeah, that's a little bonus fact for you actually, because it's not on my list. But I am a parent to 2 kitty cats that I absolutely adore. So number 1, I am actually a bit of a singer. Now, I love to sing. I'm not saying that I've got a recording contract by no stretch of the imagination, but I have been in choirs since I was at school. I absolutely love singing, and I've actually sung in the Royal Albert Hall twice. Once when I was in junior school with our junior school choir, and once as an adult with my adult choir. We went and sang Carmina Burana, which was absolutely amazing because in that instance it was part of I think it's called the Big Voice Choir or something, and it was choirs from up and down the country had been practicing this song, and we all came together, and half of the Albert Hall was filled with singers and the other half was filled with audience, and just that volume of music coming at you was amazing. It was so good. So number 1, I'm a singer. Number 2, I'm a writer. So I actually published a book, self-published a book called The 7 Biggest Mistakes You Can Make When Hiring Your Wedding Photographer. This came about after I sort of seen what I'd seen working in the industry and seen some people be highly let down by their photographers. So it made me write a little book. It's nothing grand, but it is available on Amazon. So that is a little extra bit. I am actually about to pen another book that's going to be much more substantial, not in the same vein, but I might tell you about that another time. So, number 3, I am a dancer. I absolutely love dance. Now, when I was younger, I was never allowed to do ballet or gymnastics or dance or anything like that. I wasn't given the opportunity. I did do brownies, I did do guides, but I was never allowed to do any of those kind of extracurricular activities. But I did do dance at school, and when our dance teacher left, she actually started a Saturday school doing dance for really, really cheap down at the local youth theatre, and I joined her there. Always been fascinated by dance. Dirty Dancing is one of my favourite films of all time, if not my favourite film of all time, and I absolutely love dancing. So about, I want to say 6-7 years ago now, I found a salsa class here in my hometown, and I went along and I've never looked back. I absolutely love salsa. I dance bachata as well. If you don't know what it is, I will leave a link in the show notes so you can go and look at what bachata is. I absolutely love dance. It was one of the things that I missed most about lockdown, was not being able to go out and dance socially with other people. So number 4, I used to bake a lot of novelty cakes. So when my daughter was born, I decided that I was going to bake all her birthday cakes, and that is what I started doing. I baked all of her cakes up until I think I missed her 5th birthday. We'd recently moved house at that point. But basically from 5 to, I want to say 16, pretty much every birthday cake was made, whether it was a dragon, whether it was princess castle, a lion face, a clown. I did, for her first birthday, I did tweenies fizz on a plain circle cake. That was like my beginnings. Lots of different cakes, and I made some for friends, and I was even requested to do a wedding cake once. So I did a 4-tier wedding cake. Now, I am not by no means a professional baker. This was a friend of a friend who just wanted a cake. Nothing fancy, just fondant icing with some ribbon around it, so it was not too difficult for me. But it was the most scariest drive of my life, driving that cake over to its end place. I bow down to cake makers who do that on the regular, because it scared the crap out of me, I don't mind saying. So, number 5, I am a serial learner. I cannot help it. I love a course. I love to learn something new. And just to give you an idea of some of the things that I've done over the years, I did a beauty therapy certificate. I was qualified to be a beauty therapist. I also did a nail extension course. I did a mani-pedi certificate. I did a makeup certificate. I did my photography diploma. And I've done some other things. I started a bookkeeping course. Unfortunately, I was still quite young at the time and I didn't finish it. I wish I had. And also a writing course, which I never finished. But that leads me on to number 6. I have a degree, but I earned it as a mature student. So I didn't go the traditional route of school, sixth form, university. Life didn't take me in that direction. And a couple of years after I left school, I had my daughter, and that kind of maps out where your life is going for the next little while. But when she started school, I went back and did my access certificate so that I could go to university. And again, I went to university, started studying what I thought I wanted to do, and it didn't quite work out. So in 2009, I started my history degree, which was something I love history. I'm such a huge fan of history, specifically architecture and the country home was my favourite module that we did, and now I absolutely love going to country homes and visiting the palaces and things like that. So we recently just came back a couple of weeks, no, actually this weekend, I'm trying to think of when this episode's going out, but it was this weekend. We went to Blenheim Palace, which is one of my favourite places to go. So 2009, I started my history degree. I did history with creative writing, to get my creative writing in there because I'm a little bit of a poet. I like to write poems, so I wanted to hone that skill and learn how to write them better. And so I started doing poetry as an extra module in my first year of my history degree. And then when it came to deciding, I decided to minor my degree so I could do the fiction module as well. So I graduated in 2012 with a 2-1 from the University of Northampton. My daughter was 12 at the time and got to come to the graduation, which was probably one of the proudest days of my life, to be able to have her be there for that. So after that, on the parenting front, I was a lone parent from when my daughter was 18 months old. Me and her dad split up, and she's 21 next month. So that was a pretty big deal for me, not on my plan at all. When I look back at how I planned my life when I was younger, I literally had it down to a T. I knew exactly when everything was going to happen. And do you know what? I don't think anything on that list happened when it was supposed to. So yeah, me and her dad were really young when we got together. We kind of rushed into things a little bit, and then I got pregnant, and it was like, I'm going to try and make this work. Didn't want my daughter to come from a broken family. My parents split up when I was 12. And it was not a great relationship for them beforehand. You know, it wasn't ever good from my memory with my parents. And I sat there and I thought about it, and I was like, I don't want my daughter. I would rather she came from a broken home with happy parents than from a home that stayed together that was toxic. And I could see that would be how our relationship would have gone. Just because we were very different people, not because he was a bad person, just we had different outlooks on things, so it wasn't going to work. So I was much happier. He's married with 2 children now, so you know, I feel that it was the best decision that I could make at the time, but it did mean that I was a lone parent from when my daughter was about 18 months old, and I didn't meet my current partner until about 6 years ago at dance. So I had a couple of boyfriends in between, but nothing that was sort of father figure and taking on that role for her and for me. I was always the one parenting. So that was that. Number 8, I'm a little bit addicted to chocolate. Yeah, I get into phases where I need to have chocolate like every day, and it's not that I need to, I just do it. I do it a couple of times, and then it becomes a habit, and then I want it, and then I miss it if I don't have it, and I feel like I'm being really good if I don't have it, and it becomes a bit of a problem for me, I have to say. So a little bit of a chocolate addiction there, but I have been sugar-free and gluten-free for 2 weeks now. So I have a health coach, which I am pretty sure I have mentioned on this podcast once or twice before. Shout out to Angela. And she suggested to help me on my journey of where I want to get to, that doing a 30-day gluten-free challenge would be something that could help me. So I decided to go gluten-free, but I also know that I am a little bit addicted to this stuff here. For those of you listening, it's my tea. And I have a sugar in my tea, but it is total sweet, which is xylitol, which is a sugar made from birch trees, which is about a third of the calories of regular sugar. So I only have like a level teaspoon. So I'm only getting the actual, like, what they say. I've weighed it out a couple of times just to see, and I am about the measurement that they say is the spoonful. But I was having a lot of tea. Like, I would drink 12 cups of tea a day without blinking. So I had been cutting back last year. I was having fruit tea for half the day. I was having a cup of regular tea, maybe 1 or 2 regular teas, and then going on to decaf at 3 o'clock to try and reduce my caffeine intake. But then as winter crept in, as winter crept in, I found that I was craving the warmth and coziness of the milk tea rather than just the hot water. So the milk started creeping back in, and I started having more normal tea in the mornings, and the fruit tea kind of went out the window by November, and I've just stuck to that. So I was like, well, I know that I need to pull this back because having that much sugar in the day in my tea isn't great. Having the chocolate as well, so I decided to cut out the snacking because that was extra sugar, and cut out the sugar in my tea. So it's not that I'm avoiding all sugars. So if there is fruit and I have fruit, obviously there's sugar in that. If I'm having a meal where something is pre-made, there's likely to be a bit of sugar in that, but we do cook from scratch mostly in this house. So I'm not avoiding all sugar. I'm just avoiding the snacks that are kind of pure sugar and having that extra sugar in my tea. What that has also done is reduced my milk intake because I don't like my tea without sugar, or I really don't. Yeah, I just don't like it as much. So I've been having my fruit tea all morning and then going over to regular tea in the afternoon, maybe 1 o'clock-ish. And I'm not having as much because it doesn't taste as nice. So I will put off having another cup, which it's all good for me, really, isn't it? So that's reduced my milk and my carbohydrates, reduced my gluten to nothing, and reduced my sugar greatly as well. So that is the way I am dealing with my chocolate addiction. If there are any groups out there for chocolate addicts, please let me know. I might need to join them. So number 9, I have 4 tattoos, and each one is special to me. I am a person who never thought they were going to get tattoos, never in a million years. But I got my first one when my daughter was about 6, and then I got the other 3. Now the last one, the 4th one, I wasn't planning on getting, but it's on my foot, and it was for my little sister. So I have 3 sisters. I have a half sister from my dad, and then there's me. So she's 5 years older than me. Then there's me. Then there's my little sister Gemma, and then my mum gave me my half sister Amy. And so when Amy turned 18 and could have tattoos, my middle sister paid for her tattoo, and the 3 of us got a matching tattoo. And I absolutely love it. If you don't like feet and you're watching on YouTube, look away now, and I'll pop a picture in so you can see it. So it has our initials in it of each sister. I have mine on my foot, but they have theirs on their leg. So I was just like, I've got to be a bit different, haven't I? I didn't want it on my leg, I wanted it on my foot. So, and that was the only difference. But other than that, they look the same. So all my tattoos have a special meaning to me. And so number 10 is, I was proposed to once. I proposed once, but I've never been married. So this was actually, both of those proposals were with my daughter's dad. So he was 19 when we got together, and I was 18. I think it wasn't long after that we got engaged, about 6 months or so, that he asked the question. I wasn't happy with how he asked it, so I did a proposal. I think he actually then asked me again at another point, which is what sparked us putting deposits down on things. So it might have been 3 engagements, or 3 proposals, sorry. The engagement and then no wedding. But yeah, I am somebody who is a huge advocate for marriage and weddings, and obviously love the wedding industry. And I just didn't want to say I do till death do us part to somebody I knew it wasn't going to be until death do us part. So I decided to walk away, and a lot of people think that was brave of me, but and maybe it was, knowing how I felt and how I could see the relationship going. It does take a lot to walk away and to break up a family, but in the end I feel it was best for everybody, and I hope they agree. I've spoken to my daughter about it, and she says that she's happy that it was the way it was. So, that's all that really matters to me. So there you go. There are 10 facts about me. Now, let me know in the comments below, is there anything in there that surprised you? Is there anything in there that you are also, it's a fact about you? And tell me something about you that not many people know. That is it for this birthday episode of the Wedding Procast UK. I can't believe we're 2 years old. I am so super grateful to everybody who listens. I would love it if you would share the episode, and if you can leave a review on Apple Podcasts, I would be so grateful. Until next time, see you soon. Bye for now.